Hey, the best sales advice you can ever have is stay in the game and be consistent. This is the whole thing. So many salespeople, they fall down because they start something, but they don't finish it. You got to stay in the game. I just recently got a major move forward with a prospect. I touched him 46 times. You go into my CRM system 46 times, but it was an A client, big opportunity. I wasn't going to let go of them. Stay in the game, create new value. That's my best sales advice for you.
Wow. And that is why you are the sales hunter, Mark Hunter. That is fantastic advice. 46 touches. Most salespeople give up after what, 5 maybe?
Oh, not even 5. Now, this 46 touches came over a period of about almost 18 months. And you know what? Each one of those messages was different.
Ooh.
This is the other key thing, because again, you gotta deliver value.
So circling back, checking in, following up, are those the three? Those are 3 messages you had to send, right?
No, I never send them, because believe me, if you tell me you're checking in, I'm not a hotel. And if I was a hotel, your room's not ready.
Well, I like to say, if you're checking in, I'm checking out.
You got it. I love it,
Right?
man. Love it.
Yeah.
You and I are tracking the same wavelength. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about product demos today. Not just any demo, but product demos. So tell me, Mark, how important are product demos?
Critically important. But the problem is, make it a demo that the customer wants to have. This is the whole thing. Hey, how many times have you seen this? I've been on both ends of demos so often. And what it is the salesperson or the engineer gets on and they show them everything. Hey, no, sorry. You want to put somebody to sleep? That'll put somebody to sleep. Oh, but you know what? What's even worse than putting them to sleep is they suddenly begin thinking, maybe this isn't something we need. Maybe we need to look at some other things. Maybe, and all you do is you wind up expanding the buying decision process for the customer. What I believe is, I want to do the demo, but I want to focus the demo in on what is it that the customer is looking for. In other words, here's the simple thing. Don't do the demo until the customer has shared with you what's the critical thing that what's the critical problem you're helping them with. That's what you focus the demo on.
The critical problem. Well, with that, let's get a quick word from our sponsor today, our friends at DemoStack. All right, sales superstars, let's talk about that secret sauce to sealing the deal. What Mark just said, it's a killer product demo. You got to craft a top-notch demo, and it feels sometimes like you're juggling some flaming swords while riding a unicycle. It's a mix of business savvy, technical wizardry, and input from every Tom, Dick, and Harry in your organization, and probably your prospects too. Imagine, though, if you treated demoing like a well-oiled operation, just like you did product and revenue apps. Well, stop imagining, because that's where DemoStack struts in. Ever had that gut-wrenching moment mid-demo when your software decides to throw a tantrum? You're in the zone, you're pitching your heart out, and bam! Your screen's not playing ball. Enter DemoStack, our demo-saving hero. They give you, the sales maestro, the power to run seamless, customized demos every single time with no coding skills required. Remember, folks, cut the demo pains. DemoStack is your demo operations platform, empowering sales leaders to accelerate sales cycles. You want to see the magic for yourself? Find out more about DemoStack or to see it in action. You can click the link in the description or in the show notes, or you can go to demostack.com. That's demostack.com. All right, Mark. So you said until they tell you what the critical thing is, it's not time to demo. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, because here's the whole thing. Because how do I know what to show them? Again, we'll say I'm selling you an airplane. We'll say I'm selling you an airplane. Or no, really, what I'm selling you is a flight on a ticket on a seat on a flight between point A and point B. You don't care about all the mechanics of the airplane. You just want to know, is your seat there? Is it going to leave on time, et cetera, et cetera. Focus in on what the customer is looking for. This is where DemoStack, I think, really hits home. Because again, so many times what happens is salespeople get caught up in this convoluted demo, and then their system crashes. Then their system starts, and what are you doing? Suddenly you're showing the dark side of what it is that you have. This is why using DemoStack is absolutely so key, because it allows you to keep your focus on the focus. What the focus is, what the customer wants to focus on, not what you want to focus on.
That's so simple and yet so easy. Focus on what your customer wants to focus on instead of what you want to focus on. Because frankly, right to your point about an airplane, I just want to get to Cincinnati. How do I get there? Well, if I've got a crunch time, if I've got to get there in the next, say 2 hours, well, I'm probably going to hop on a plane, right? I'm going to come from Dallas to Cincinnati. But if I've got a week, well, I might drive then, and that might be okay too. But that's where finding out what's important to them is so important, huh, Mark?
It is, and this is why where I chastise so many sales teams, where they get the BDR, the SDR, whatever you want to call it, it gets paid if you get the demo set up. Whoa, false, 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 false. I want to have the discovery call first. I want to have the discovery call for. I'm going to increase the value of my demos. I'm going to increase it dramatically, if I have that discovery call first, because I want to get you, the customer, leaning in. When you, this is something, visualize this picture. If I rush to the demo, you're leaning back. You're leaning back and you're saying, show me, prove it to me. But if I get you leaning in, it's because you've shared with me what your problem is. And I can, hey, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a solution that's going to help you do it. Now I got you leaning in. And when you're leaning in, you're going to be engaged in that demo. I'm amazed at the number of demos that really become just a YouTube video. Hello. I want to have interaction. Again, this is one of the things that DemoStack helps you do so well.
Yeah, absolutely. That interaction, that back and forth, like we're having today. I'm going to ask a question. You're going to answer it. Maybe you parry back with another question, and we're going to go back and forth. And it's a little like ping pong, right? We're going to go back and forth 1 or 2 points at a time. Sometimes I might swing and miss, and then it's time to serve it again.
Exactly. And this is what's so key, because if I've got you leaning in, I can begin asking you questions that I know are going to create a conversation. That's huge. If I got you leaning back, I'm going to be much more cautious in the questions I'm going to ask. And my whole objective with the demo is, I want to do 3 things. 1, I want to have you coming out of the demo looking to buy. Okay. I want to use this where I've now moved to about a 75-80% close ratio. 2, I want to have you realizing how good this solution is and how this is going to open the door for other things in your company. In other words, this now creates the sale after the sale. This creates the next sale. That's great. And the third piece is you're going to see me as a value-added resource. A value-added resource that even after the sale, we're going to stay in touch. In other words, I'm creating the relationship. When I do the demo right, I accomplish all 3 of those things, and boom, we score.
Wow, that's so great. Well, so many organizations, though, they don't want their sales reps touching their customers after they become customers. You think that's a miss, Mark?
Well, I think it is. I think it is a miss. And okay, now from a speed, efficiency standpoint, I get that. Because again, it may be a handoff. It goes to the startup, goes to the conversion team, goes to customer success, whatever you want to call it. It's great. But I want to be able to have this customer to say, you know what, I do want to connect with this person on LinkedIn. I do want to stay connected with this person on social media, because they're just so insightful. And it may not be a formal relationship. I like it when it's formal, but it may be an informal that at least we're going to remain in touch, because you know what's going to happen?
What's that?
That customer is going to become a raving fan of yours. And then, guess what? They're going to talk about you to other people. What's the easiest way to build your pipeline?
Referrals, right?
Exactly. You have other people talking about you. And this is where I think so many, again, in the demo, the salesperson gets on and says, okay, now I'm going to turn it over to my engineers. I'm going to turn it over to my engineers, and they're going to handle the whole thing. Now, I got no problem with having an engineer on the call. But when you do that, you've suddenly relegated yourself to a backseat role. Now, I'm not looking for you, the salesperson, to be all 100% skilled and 100% confident, but you got to stay in the game. You got to stay in the game in terms of it. And it isn't asking such a, hey, so what do you think of it so far? Hey, so what? No, shut up. Ask intelligent questions. So what you've seen so far, let's talk for a second about how this is going to help you achieve your next quarter numbers. That's a meaningful question. How is this going to help you? Because, we've been talking that one of the things you're doing is you're really changing your whole process in terms of how you do X, Y, and Z. How is this going to help that? In other words, you ask a connection that links the demo to the problem that the customer's identified with you. This is the role of the salesperson. Let the engineer handle the mechanics, let them handle the technical aspect, that's fine. But it's your job to link the two. And when you do that, it is amazing how it raises your value. And you're suddenly no longer this village idiot sitting in the corner saying, what the heck are you on this call for?
Yeah, well, that connection is so critical between the problem and the value, because value is in the eyes of the customer's eyes. It is not in my eyes. It is not. I can't say, hey, Mark, give me value. And you're like, yeah, okay, well, I got a million things I could talk about. Instead, when we share that pain, now we've got a specific value point that matches up. And now when we pair that up, now it's almost like a checklist. Great. We got a problem. We got a solution. We got a problem. We got a solution. Is that right? Am I getting this right?
You are spot on there, because here's what I find happening. Our number one competitor in sales is not a competitor as we look at it. Our number one competitor is the customer saying no decision. The customer choosing not to make a decision. That is our number one competitor. Now, why does that occur? That occurs because we haven't created enough of a value proposition as to why they need to engage with us right now. I've got this situation that I'm chasing right now with a client, and they want me to come in and do a lot of work for them. Great. But they're saying, you know what, we kind of need to wait until the season slows down. We're in peak season and we're going to wait till like December. And I'm going, hold it. And I come back and I paint the picture relative to the issues that they've laid out for me. And you go, oh yeah, you're right. We do need to start this. We're going to have to juggle some things around the calendar, but we're going to get this going. Bingo. You see, the reason customers say no decision, or the reason that customers, shall we say, they don't say anything, they go silent on us, is because we haven't created enough value. Major problem.
Yeah, definitely. No value connect between what the new reality is either, right? Like what's going to happen after we make this massive change? We shake it all up, because during the change, it might be difficult for us for a little while. And right after the change, it might be difficult for a little while. But the goal is that eventually, hopefully sooner than later, it's going to be easier. And we're going to get that beautiful 3-letter acronym, ROI, right?
Yes. ROI. And remember, because customers don't buy anything, they invest. They do not. Hey, this is something that I tell salespeople. You got to keep this in mind. Customers nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I want to buy something. I know the old adage, well, they don't want to be sold, they want to buy. I don't think they want to buy. What they want is they want to invest. And because they're going to get an ROI, they're going to solve a problem. And this comes back to the whole demo thing. Never start the demo without first restating what the challenges are that the customer is dealing with. What are the challenges? What are the things? And get a little conversation going on that. The reason being is this is going to get them leaning in even more, because they're going to share with you more insights. And this is good, because if you've got an engineer helping you on the call, they're going to hear this too. They're going to hear this. Don't just say, hey, we only got an hour. I know time's limited, so let's just jump into it. Jose, why don't you go ahead and show them? Oh, no. I want to spend some valuable time up front having you share with me what are those issues. And I want to just kind of ask some more questions and get them. Because again, remember, they're not buying, they're investing. So let's go through that investment process again with them before we start the demo.
Yeah. And they only invest for 2 reasons. One, it's going to help their dreams come true. Their affirmations, right? That's going to be, yay, okay, that's great. Their aspirations, I mean. And then secondly, is all about their afflictions. Like, what hurts? How is this going to fix what hurts? Now, I think we spend too much time on the pain, and we forget that we also have to talk about their dreams. Do you see that as well, Mark?
Yes. However, data consistently shows that people will be more proactive in helping to solve a pain than they will a gain. So, but I want to always create both pictures. I always want to create, because again, if I do this right, here's the pain and here's the gain you're going to get from it. See, so I can paint the two together. But if all I'm doing is giving you an aspirational picture, there is a market out there for that, but that tends to be kind of, and I hate to say this, a thin market. In other words, it's a very small market. Because think about this: do companies tend to buy things when things are running perfect?
No, of
Do
course not.
people tend? No, they don't. Now, do people tend to buy things when things are running perfect? Not nearly, but they do when they have to solve a problem. So I'm going to take the pain, because that's what people are more likely to spend, and I paint it into an aspirational picture.
There we go.
Now what I've got, because here's the other piece. People are now beginning to see a double ROI. What do I mean by this? I'm going to solve the pain, but it's also going to help me achieve a gain. And I'm listening for the customer to give me cues, because again, they're going to help share with me what's more critical to them. What's more critical? And then guess what? I know where here's the whole thing. Salespeople make sales too hard. I firmly believe this. I'm getting ready to deliver a major program here in a week to an audience of non-salespeople who are charged with selling. Well, you know the audience, the National Speakers Association. And I'm going to blow their mind away, because I'm going to tell them that sales is easy. It's just listening to the customer. It's just listening to the customer. When you listen to the customer and have a conversation with them, they'll share with you. But the problem is that too many times we don't create an environment for the customer to want to have a conversation with us.
Because they see more about that. That's interesting.
Because they just see us as selling them. They just see us as selling them. If they see us as willing to have a conversation, wanting to discuss, wanting to converse. I was on the phone yesterday, CEO of a company, and we had a great conversation. And he shared with me different issues and different things. I go, oh, wow, it's very interesting. And I began to say, hey, you know what? I've got some ideas. I've got some really some things that I believe are really going to help you. So really, yeah. He said, well, let's get another time set up to talk. He said that, let's get another time set up. Whoa, because what did I do? I spent like 30 minutes with this gentleman on the phone, and we were just talking. He was sharing me. And he started the phone call up. I said, hey, I've only got about 10 minutes. But we were on the phone for almost 45 minutes. Now, why did that happen? Was it because he liked me? I guess he did. But because I was asking him engaging questions. See, this is the other thing. Salespeople, don't shy away from asking customers tough questions. We have this this built-in desire that I don't want to lose this prospect, so I'm going to gingerly take them through the process. And what does that do? That has you putting in your pipeline prospects that aren't going to go anywhere, and you wind up with a sewer pipe. I want to disqualify you quickly. You, Phil Gerbishak, have to earn the right to remain in my pipeline. It's not just you saying. It's not just you saying, Mark, I want to. Remember, we don't use the word buy. Invest with you. No, I got to determine as to whether or not I even want to spend time with you. Whoa, there's a head spinner.
That's such a head spinner. And yet, in reality, if I can't solve your problem, if you have a problem that is unsolvable by the work that I do, well, then why the heck should I waste time with you?
Exactly. And this is the whole thing. I may get on a phone call with somebody, and I have this happen all the time. And I go, yeah, you know what? I'm just not the right person. But let me refer you to somebody. Let me refer you to this company. Let me refer you to that. I will get people who call me and they say, yeah, we're looking for salespeople. Can you help? I don't do recruiting. I don't do that. I pass them off to other people. And think about this. I've made the sale. I've made the sale because now I have referred somebody to somebody. So guess what? Both parties are going to like me. Hey, guess what? I win. Ding, 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 ding. Because now the person who I referred them to is going to say, man, I like Mark Hunter because he refers me. He refers me clients. And the client I referred to them says, wow, I like Mark Hunter because he referred me to a recruiter that allowed me to hire the right salespeople. I like this guy. What's not to like? Hello.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting, right? When we can turn down a sale, if you will, turn down wasting people's time and get them to the right person that can actually solve their problems. It's amazing how much things open up the next time, right?
It really is. This is why I say you've got to have a metric. Sales is all about metrics. We talk about, when we said the best sales advice when we started off, you got to be disciplined. It's really what I call the metrics. What are your metrics? And I, for instance, have I have 5 metrics. 2 of them are 5 conversations a day. I know that if I have 5 conversations a day, my pipeline is going to be full. But I also want to give 3 referrals a week. If I give 3 referrals a week, you know what? Stuff's going to bounce back to me. Now, I'm not giving referrals to get stuff to bounce back. I'm giving referrals because it's the right thing to do. But I make it adamant that I'm always doing 3 referrals a week. And besides, you know what? When you give a referral, man, you feel good.
It's so simple, right? You said salespeople complicated, but referring business is a win for everybody. It's not just like, oh, yay, great, I referred to Phil, and oh, good job, Phil. Congratulations. Now Phil feels good, but everybody feels like a winner.
We screw up a 2-car funeral faster than anybody. Well, we do. This is why, again, I made the example that I had reached out to this particular company 46 times. Finally got a meeting, and I'm having a meeting with them here in an hour. And started about 18 months ago. And why did I stay in the game 46 times? And this was a combination of emails, voicemails, a few social media drips, but this was all very tough because the opportunity is so big. Now I would not have stayed in the game if it was a small opportunity. You and I both seen this. You get a small opportunity and you're going to make 3-4 phone calls. You're going to do some follow-up, so forth, but the dog don't hunt, move on. But this one, huge whale. And I'm going to stay in the game. Now, that's real quick side note here. This is what's so key about salespeople is you got to have, the whales, I call those the A opportunities, and you got to B opportunities and C opportunities. If all I was doing was chasing whales, I'd starve to death. Now, my wife says I'm too skinny already, but I mean, I would starve to death. But you also can't have all C's, the real quick, easy wins, because again, you're going to drive yourself silly. Yeah, you're closing deals, but you're not closing enough of them at a big enough level to make your number. So you need a balance of A, B's, and C's. And it's very important for salespeople to have that right mix. Because when you do that, then guess what? You keep a consistent level of business coming through.
So, Mark, you said something there. It's a big enough deal that I'm going to go after it. I would also say that big enough deal converts to a big enough problem to solve. Would it not?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct, because they have such a huge problem, and I know I can deliver the right solution. And I know that as a result of that, that's going to create a tremendous amount of recurring revenue for me. It's going to create a tremendous amount of long-term opportunities. It's going to connect me with, in other words, I can begin seeing that, whoa, this thing has got major opportunities for me. And that's what's absolutely key. Salespeople, we have to realize a couple things. We don't close a sale. I hate the term closing a sale. We open a relationship. I want to open a relationship. Goes back to that comment earlier when I said that, I want to stay in touch with you. I may not be able to have a formal relationship because of how our company's structured. I get that. But I can certainly still have an informal relationship that I can reach out to you, that I can connect with you by way of LinkedIn, whatever it might be. But this is absolutely key because, again, what am I doing? I'm fueling my engine. In fact, let me give you a quick example. We happen to be recording this on a Friday. And Friday afternoons are absolutely the best time to sell. Whoa, hello. Yes. I love Friday afternoon phone calls. I have phone calls I'm going to be making this afternoon. Here's why I like calling Friday afternoons. And oh, by the way, we're recording this in the summer. Aren't people taking time off? Yes, they are. And yeah, you do. You get a lot of voicemails, but you know what? The people you do reach tend to be a little more laid back, a little more willing. I have more great conversations on Friday afternoons than any other day of the weekend. Oh, by the way, customers also want to close deals. I will have prospects that I'm reaching out to. Yeah. And they just want, oh man, yeah, you're right. I'm glad you called. Let's get this set up. Boom, boom, boom. And because they want to go into the weekend having taken care of their problem. I'm happy to help them out. Happy to help them. So, I mean, don't ever think for a moment that you can't reach out and call somebody. I can make the same valid argument for Monday. People say Monday morning's not a good time to call people. I can make a great argument but man, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. If you have the ability to help someone, you owe it to them to reach out to them. You owe it to them to reach out to them. Now, I'm going to go back to something. This is absolutely fascinating. Yesterday morning, I looked at my CRM system and this opportunity that we've been talking about. I was not actually scheduled to reach out to them, according to my cadence, for another week and a half. It was going to be the end of next week. That's when I was reach out to them. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and reach out. I'm going to reach out to her right now. Boom. And it's very interesting. What was very interesting was I got an auto reply that the person was out until the end of next week. Okay, well, about 10 minutes after I sent it, she sent me back a note. Hey, Mark, yeah. I'm introducing you to so-and-so who's going to have a conversation with you. Get this set up ASAP.
Wow.
Now, here's a couple things I learned right there. One, I broke the cadence. Yeah, I went faster than I had in my CRM system. I went faster. Two, it was an auto reply. But you know what's funny? She still responded. So maybe those auto replies aren't quite so auto replies that I'm out of office. You know, that response we get. And the person sent me back the other note. And she said, hey, Mark, love to catch up with you either tomorrow, Friday, or next week. Well, guess what? I would even change this time with you, Phil. To have this call with that person. So you bet I jumped on it. And that's the other thing. Salespeople, I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent here. Don't allow moss to grow under your feet in between calls. So many times what happens, and this happened with this VP of sales, this CEO I was talking to yesterday. I said, hey, let's get back together. And I didn't say, what's your calendar look like a couple of weeks from now? I said, let's get back together. Now, in full disclosure, this CEO happened to be in India, happened to be traveling in India.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. Again, we were catching at a weird time, but he took the call again because he knew I was going to bring him some value. So anyway, I can't get a follow-up call with him until Monday when he's back in the States. But think about this for a moment. I didn't say, oh, well, I know you're going to be tired. No, I said, what's your calendar look like for Monday? Do you have 11 o'clock open on Monday? He said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to be back in the office. I might be a little bit tired, but yeah, let's do it. Boom. Don't sit there. Because I would have said today, Friday. But he said, well, I'm going to be traveling back. I'm going to be traveling back to the States. Don't sit there and waste. Because here's the whole thing. You probably have seen, we've all seen this. You get meetings on your calendar from somebody. And then it's for a week or two out. You go, who the heck is this person? Or you're on to other topics. You're on to other subjects, and you lose sight of things. You can't allow that to happen. You can't. Move fast.
Well, that's your whole point about being consistent. Be consistently fast. Get in front of people. Recommend something that's closer than further.
Yeah.
And actually help people. right? You said if you help someone, you owe it to them. If you can help, you should.
Yeah. Yeah. People, I say, let me put this example. If you have the ability to help someone, you owe it to them to reach out to them. If you were driving down the road and you saw an auto accident happen right in front of you, you would stop. You would grab your phone and you'd call 911. But you would, even if you were not a medic, even if you had no medic, you would still help to make sure, hey, are people okay, et cetera, et cetera. This is the approach we have to have in sales. And this is why, if I know who I can help and I know how I can help them, give me as many of those people as possible. I'm reaching out to them.
Yeah.
I'm reaching out.
I want to help.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Mark. And I know you always want to help, which is why you're here today. So with that, Mark, give us one more way that we can be consistent with our sales. And before you do that, I want you to think about that. Now, friends, if you're not familiar with the Sales Hunter, well, I don't know where the heck you've been in sales, but check out thesaleshunter.com. Get to know my friend Mark Hunter. Mark is full of insight as it comes to sales and being consistent and helping with your demos. So, Mark, what's your final piece of advice for being more consistent?
Final piece of information. Spend more time developing the questions you want to ask than the information you want to share. Bingo. Even in the demo, I mean, I want to do the demo, but I'm going to have a whole litany of questions I want to ask, because it's funny. If I call you and I get you answering questions, you're not going to hang up on yourself. If I get you and I just start blabbering away about how wonderful I am, you will hang up on me. Spend more time developing the questions, and the questions you want to ask are questions that they can't answer and you can't answer. Think about that for a moment. So many times salespeople love to ask questions that the customer can't answer, but they can answer. It's the way they look so brilliant. Oh, come on. Customers know that game. Ask them questions that they can't answer and you can't answer. What's that going to do? It's going to create a conversation. That's how you get sales.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. As always, it is great to spend time with you. Folks, check out thesaleshunter.com. Get to know Mark Hunter. And Mark, again, I thank you, my friend.